of Shia Islam? The answer is very simple. Number one, Abdullah bin Saba is a name. Many of the ulama say that this name was fabricated. No reality for such person. This name of Abdullah bin Saba was fabricated by a well-known liar by the name of Saif bin Umar. Saif bin Umar is a very well-known liar who fabricated names of so-called Sahaba who were not existing at all, but only in his own imagination. There's another opinion that Abdullah bin Saba did exist, but all the Shias curse him. All of us curse him. Then how come our opponents claim that we follow Abdullah bin Saba? Abdullah bin Saba is cursed in our books. We follow Ahlul Bayt, no doubt. Yes, we do follow Ahlul Bayt. And all our evidence, if you take any Shia book in any part of our faith or our practice, look at our evidence. All our evidence is from Ahlul Bayt because they are the real, authentic narrators from the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. If you find any Shia book referring to Abdullah bin Saba in any matter except cursing him, then you can claim that yes, Shia respect this man and they have taken from him something. But it is very clear that we are the enemies of Abdullah bin Saba if he did exist, because we have got in our books a lot of curse on Abdullah bin Saba. And also we have got many of our ulama who say that Abdullah bin Saba did not exist at all. In both cases, there is no link at all between us and Abdullah bin Saba. But it is a way of propaganda of our enemies. Always, when you find two parties, one party is presenting evidence, and other party is putting allegation, you will see that those who put allegations have no evidence. That's why they create something which they think it like evidence, and they put allegation on the other party. The allegations on us itself is an evidence that our opponents have no evidence at all against us. Okay. Another question from a person who said that I come back home late from my work, and sometimes I reach home after Maghrib. What shall I do with my namaz, salat, al-dhuhr and asr? Can I pray it after reaching home? The answer, it is compulsory on every Muslim to perform the obligatory salah within its time. Dhuhr and asr. Start from dhuhr time, which is midday, noon, and ends before sunset. We must perform our salah of dhuhr and asr in this period. It is not permissible at all to leave performing salah till the time of it goes away. That is something not permissible at all. Whether you get chance to pray during your working or not. Even you can go out and pray on the road, on the footpath. But you must perform your salah within the time of salah without letting the salah goes away before you perform your wajib salah. And there is no excuse and no exemption at all in salah, because the hadith says لا تسقط الصلاة بحال. Salah is obligatory and it can never be dropped under any circumstance as far as the human being is in his senses. Now I would like to mention a question about a person who is in coma for number of days. Can his family perform salah on his behalf? The answer, no. It is not permissible to perform salah or fasting on behalf of a person who is still alive. Because he is still alive. Yes, he is in coma, but not dead. When he is still alive, he must perform his salah if he can. If he is unconscious, then not wajib on him because he is in coma. And something more, there's a difference between sleeping and coma. A person who is sleeping, when he wakes up, for example, God forbid, he missed salah while sleeping, morning prayer, for example, or any prayer, he must perform qada for what he missed. But a person who was in coma, and after, say, many days, he woke up, is it compulsory on him to perform qada for that days that he was in coma and did not pray namaz? The answer, no. A person in coma is not responsible to pray nor to keep qada. Why? Because he was in coma, out of his senses. Out of his senses, not like the person who was just sleeping. Yes, please. Now we will take some of your questions before we continue. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Yes, please.
There was a question on chat, Sayyid.
Yes, please. Okay. Any question, either writing or verbally? Okay. A person invites us for iftar, and we are not sure whether he brings halal meat or not. Can we eat from him? If you know that this person does not care for halal, then we cannot eat from the meat, because meat needs evidence of being halal. The meat is not like the food without meat. Vegetarian food can be taken as tahir, as far as we don't know that it is najis. If we know that it's najis, then najis, haram to eat it. But if you don't know that it is najis, and there is a possibility, reasonable possibility, for the food to remain tahir. Say, for example, someone can cook rice without touching it. Just to put the rice and water on it and cook it. The rice can be cooked without being touched. So, possible. But meat is not permissible to eat unless and until you are sure that it is halal. So in this case, a person who does not care for halal and haram, and he brings food and meat from any source, we should not eat from his food any meat. Okay, a question here, is it permissible for a woman to fast, qada fast on behalf of a man who passed away? As you know, nowadays many poor people, they take money and fast on behalf of deceased, marhum. Is it permissible for a woman to fast on behalf of a deceased man? The answer is yes, it is permissible. Man can keep qada on behalf of a deceased woman. A woman can keep qada on behalf of deceased man. Yes, please. Any other question? Okay. We mentioned that vomiting, deliberate vomiting, invalidates fasting. Deliberate, not the vomiting which is out of control, out of our choice. In case a person who is feeling like vomiting and he is fasting, he can control himself and he can vomit. Is he allowed to vomit? The answer is, if he can control himself and postpone vomiting, he must postpone vomiting as much as he can. He should not vomit deliberately, because vomiting deliberately will invalidate the fasting. And as we said, that if the person is able to wait, then he should wait, he should control over himself as much as he can. When it reaches to a point that he has no control and he has to vomit, that vomiting will not harm his fasting. Okay. A repeated question. While fasting, is it permissible to brush our teeth using either toothpaste or any material? The answer, yes, it is permissible to use the toothpaste during fasting, as far as you are sure that you will not allow any part from the toothpaste nor from the water to go inside your stomach. If you are sure, then no harm at all to brush your teeth. Yes, please.
There are two questions earlier on chat from Mr. Vakil. The first question is, some people think that the khums can be forgiven by ulamas in some cases. Is it so? This is the first question. The other question, please explain the concept of ijaza for khums and its types.
The concept of ijaza and its size?
Types.
Okay. Okay. Number one was regarding the khums, right?
Yes, number one regarding the khums can be forgiven by ulamas, some cases.
Khums does not belong to any alim. No one can forgive the money of others. If you have money with someone else, your money, can I go to that man and tell him, I am forgiving you the money of Mr. So-and-so? I'm not authorized. Khums is not ownership of any alim. No one is allowed to forgive khums. Khums is the right of Allah, the Prophet, and Ahlul Bayt, and the right of the needy, poor Sadat. Half of the khums is Sahm Imam alayhi salam, and other half is called Sahm Sadat. So no one is allowed to forgive khums. The maximum that the alim can do, if he is permitted by the marja of taqleed, he can make a payment schedule. He can, as you know, khums must be paid immediately. But in case a person has no cash to pay immediately, then the alim, either the marja of his wakil, can give him permission to pay his khums in suitable installments. This is possible if the alim is permitted by the marja of taqleed. But to forgive any part of the khums is not under anybody's authority. Next.
Yeah, the concept of ijaza for khums.
Ijaza is permission from the marja of taqleed to utilize, means to receive and utilize part of the khums. Part. It can be 1/4, it can be 1/3, it can be less, it can be more, in a specific purpose. For example, there is a religious school, madrasa, and the marja gave a permission to utilize khums in this religious school. Yes, this is a permission, then it should be followed, because usually the marja does not give blank permission. Usually they say, the marja says, pay part of it to this project and the rest of it send it back to the marja, because the marja has to look after thousands of students and schools and projects for serving people. So part is permitted and other part should be sent to the marja to look after the other requirements of the mu'mineen. Okay. If someone doesn't pray sajdat sahu, and he knows that he needs to do so, is his salah is valid? Okay. Two sajda of sahu sometimes become obligatory, and sometimes it is not obligatory. We will talk only about the case of obligatory. For example, while praying salah, unintentionally, someone spoke. Say, he said, open the door, or door, or anything. That is not allowed during salah. But he did it without intention. He must perform two sajda of sahu. Someone had a doubt whether his rak'ah now is 4th or 5th. He must take it as 4th. And after ending the salah, he must perform two sajda of sahu. One sajda of sahu, two sajda. There's no one sajda of sahu. Always sajda of sahu, always two. you go to sujood and say Bismillah wa billah, Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Or you can say Bismillah wa billah, Assalamu alayka ayyuhan nabi wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Then you sit and again do sajda. Then again, Bismillah wa billah, Assalamu alayka ayyuhan nabi wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Then you sit and recite tashahhud and salam. This is two sajda of sahw. When it is obligatory and the person does not perform it deliberately, then his salah is invalid and he has to repeat that salah. Yes, please. Next.
There is a question in chat, Sayyid.
Yes, please.
Can a woman take medicine to postpone her mens during Ramadan in order to avoid its qaza later?
Yes, any female is allowed to take tablets or medicine to delay the menstrual cycle, and it is also allowed to take medicine to make the cycle come soon before its time. Both are allowed. Both are allowed. You know, our sisters who go for Hajj or Umrah or Ziyarat, or during the month of Ramadan, she wants to fast. She does not want to miss any fast because of the menstruation. Some of our sisters, our daughters, take medication, tablets, to delay the period. It is permissible. I don't encourage it because we are not doctors. We should seek the medical advice from a doctor or doctors, lady doctors, to see whether this tablets for delaying the period is harmful or not harmful for the health of the female. But it is permissible unless the doctor says it is really damaging. No. I say that taking medicine to make the cycle comes soon. Why? Some ladies, they want the cycle to come because they want the iddah of talaq to be over. When a woman is divorced, her iddah waiting period is 3 periods. 3 periods of menstruation. Some ladies want this iddah to get over soon, so they take medicine to make the iddah comes to end. The period of menstruation cannot come again within 10 days. No. The minimum gap between one menstruation and other minimum is 10 days. If blood comes before 10 days, that blood is not menstruation. The minimum period of bleeding of menstruation is 3 days. If the blood comes for just 1 day or 2 days, it is not menstruation. The minimum number of days of menstruation is 3 days, and maximum number of menstruation days are 10 days. Okay. So in short, taking tablets to make the period delayed is permissible. Yes, please. Next.
Yes. Money paid into my bank account fluctuates over the year. How would I calculate my khums in this case, since it is not physical cash? And how can I tell if the money being spent is from a year ago or has been there or less than 1 year?
You should have a record log book. How much khums you paid last year, and how much is the remaining halal pure money. Next year, on the day of khums, calculate how much was added and pay khums on the additional amount. Yes, please.
Any further question, please?
What is the latest time a person can change his niyat mid-prayer? Does it have to be before a specific rak'ah? Changing the intention of salah can be if there is something important you want to get. If you started your wajib salah, it is not permissible to break wajib salah. But if you change your intention from wajib salah to sunnat, means mustahab, recommended salah, then terminating mustahab salah will be permissible. Anytime when you need, for example, you are praying and a child falls and you need to go and help him. So just change the niyat from wajib to mustahab, and then you can break the salah immediately. So there's no limit for that whenever it is required. Yes, please. The niyat of qaza fasting is related to the midday. Qaza fasting, if someone did not have the niyat of qaza fast, nowadays many people are fasting qaza. He woke up in the morning, he did not take his breakfast, he did not drink water, didn't do anything which is against fasting, and then before dhuhr, he said, why not to fast today? Yes, he is allowed to fast as far as dhuhr did not come. When dhuhr comes without intention of fasting, then no intention of qada can be possible. But the intention of qada fast is permissible anytime, but should be before dhuhr.
From the time of azan, what is the time of fazilat after azan?
Depending on the salah, which salah? Which salah? Always, time of fadila is in the beginning of the time. Beginning. There are some differences in the opinion between Ayatollah Khouei and Ayatollah Sistani in this matter. But in short, the beginning of the time is definitely the time of fadila. Yes, please.
Any further question, please?
Please convey to all mu'mineen to avoid gatherings, to avoid mixing with people. It is not a joke. It is must on everyone to keep himself away from mixing with people to avoid infection. Okay. Most cough syrups and sore throat sprays have ethanol in them, and the amount is not small or not minute. Is it still permissible to use them? If the medicine has got a small percentage of like 1% or 2% of alcohol, Ayatollah Sistani says it is permissible. Is it better to join prayers like Dhuhr and Asr, or better to leave a small gap? No doubt, the thawab, the reward of namaz jama'at prayers is very, very great. So joining the jama'at has got greater thawab than keeping a gap. والحمد لله رب العالمين. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد وعجل فرجهم وارحمنا بهم يا غفور يا ودود. ربنا اغفر لنا ذنوبنا وإسرافنا في أمرنا وثبت أقدامنا وانصرنا على القوم الكافرين. وصلى الله على محمد وآله الطيبين الطاهرين. والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
عفوا سيدنا، في سؤال جدا مهم، آخر سؤال بالعربي. في فجر الإسلام كان الصيام يبدأ من العشاء إلى المغرب، ثم رخص الله سبحانه وتعالى لهم حيث جعل الصوم يبدأ من الفجر إلى أذان المغرب. السؤال: هناك بعض الدول تقريبا تصوم قرابة 22 ساعة أو أكثر أو أقل في كل يوم طيلة رمضان. من رخص لهم تخفيف لمدة الصيام؟ هل لهم رخصة معينة؟
No permission to break the fast before Maghrib. Any number of hours. Allah clearly said in the Quran, ثم أتم الصيام إلى الليل. Siyam must be completed, fasting must be completed till the start of the night, no matter how many hours are the day. Yes, please. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد وارحمنا بهم وعجل فرجهم.
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. I would like to remind everybody that tomorrow by 2 o'clock afternoon we have majlis for Sayyida Zainab alayhi salam, and Sheikh Malallah al-Atiyah will read the majlis, and Sayyid Muhammad al-Musawi also will receive your questions. This majlis will be in Arabic, but you are welcome to join, and you send your question in English to Sayyid Muhammad. صلى على محمد وآل محمد.
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد وعجل فرجهم. أحسنتم.